Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. So today I wanted to do a reading in regards to the full moon in Gemini. We have the sun in Sagittarius, and those energies being opposite do bring a lot of a confrontation of the truth and standing on your ideals, standing on your beliefs. So, and a lot of hypocrisy coming out, a lot of what's good for the goose but not good for the gander kind of energy. And what I mean by that is that people want you to adhere by rules that they don't follow. People want you to believe things that they don't believe. People want you to not do things that they do. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So divine feminine, you could be dealing with, or divine masculine, you could be dealing with the karmic feminine that somehow seems to think that because they share a child with you, that means that you guys are linked permanently, that you have to relate to one another indefinitely. And what they don't realize is that when you understand what boundaries are, when you understand what your freedom of independence is, when you choose to separate from someone and co-parent a child, the rules are based on how that relationship ended. If that relation and why that relationship ended, you cannot demand the same benefits, so to speak, or you cannot demand from the other spouse to continue providing the same support that they were supporting you with when you were together. If when you were together, the support that was being given to you was being malused, or was being, in other words, if whatever it was that you guys were doing to maintain the dynamic in the best interest of the child should continue even when you're not together. The problem is a lot of people cannot separate their parenting responsibility from the relationship itself, and they don't understand what moving on means or why boundaries have to be put in place. So for those exes out there that don't get the memo, that don't understand what it means to separate, to not be together, it means you're cut off from everything that you benefited from being in that partnership is no longer yours to attach to. So if it was a network of friendships, it's not for you anymore. If it was access to certain spaces, it's not for you anymore. If it was monetary gains, it's not for you anymore. If it was anything to do, whatever it had to do, be willing to let it completely go. Let it all go that isn't yours, because once you dissolve the relationship, it should all be dissolved. The only thing that should stand and should be still there is your responsibility to the child that you brought into the world. Okay? So, if you share responsibility for a child, then you do your responsibility for your child. And if you're bitching because you don't have access to your child because someone has a boundary that you cannot access that child in the same way, ask yourself what those boundaries are, and if they're really there because they're in the best interest for the child, or are they there because those rules and boundaries have to be there because of who you have been. Okay? That goes to all the sneaky ass, deceptive ass, robotic ass fools that think that they're going to use a child to stay attached to another, to the person that they made the child with. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. If there's a boundary in you being able to parent that child, there should be a very valid reason for it. So there's no amount of support that you can deny. There's no amount of support that you can justify not providing based on your dislike of this person having the free will to do this and the right to do it. So this goes for those pedophile fathers, those abusive fathers, mothers too, whatever, however the experience goes. It can go either. I'm calling it based on genders and based on how it statistically shows to be more, what is the word? It's more relative in some areas. Why am I explaining this? But the point is, don't act like you having a boundary doesn't have to do with your character. Don't act like you don't know that. It's about your character. Oh, but I provide money, so that means I'm supposed to have access to my child. No, if you provide money to support your child, it's because that's the least you can do. That's the least you can do, is to make sure that child has what they need. It's the least that you can do. Not the most. That's the least. The reason you don't get to participate in molding your child's emotional well-being, the reason you don't get to mold your child's mental capacities, the reason you don't get to mold your child's psychology and help them grow into somebody that's going to be productive for themselves independently and not be a nuisance to society and not be a problem to you, as in terms of putting a responsibility on you that you can't handle, that's out of your hands, because they can manage their own life. The reason you cannot participate in those things is because you're the reason that you're not in their life. Your lack of character is the reason you're not in their life. Your lack of responsibility and accountability is the reason you're not in their life. And when that child is an adult, they can speak for themselves. When that child is an adult, they will see the truth for themselves. When that child is an adult, they will understand for themselves. And maybe they don't. And if they don't, that's for you and them to decide and fix. The problem is that a lot of people want rights to people that they don't have rights to. You want rights to participate when you have proven not to have the best interest of that individual at heart. You've proven to be a careless person with another person. Irresponsible with their well-being, irresponsible with their health, or and not to say that that's your responsibility, but if you are someone that is supposed to be part of a team, and your behaviors, instead of building that team to a better position, you've diminished it, then you're the fucking problem. Let's not play like you didn't create a problem and then want to come and act like you're owed something because of the little contribution you're making. The little contribution you're making is the minimum you should do. It's not a card for you to play to enforce a rule. You don't have rule here. You don't rule over anybody. You don't have a child to rule over. You don't have a partner to rule over. You don't have a home to rule over. So sit your ass down and support if you want to support, or don't support. We don't give a fuck if you don't want to support. Don't support. Don't use, I'm not going to support because you're not doing things the way I want you to do them. Well, there's a reason that you're blocked. You're blocked because you can't be trusted. You're blocked because you don't understand boundaries. You're blocked because when you've been told a million times, don't fucking contact me for any goddamn reason other than to speak to your child, and you choose not to respect that, then don't get pissed off when you're blocked and only allowed to speak to your child when your child wants to speak to you. You don't have a court order on me. I dare you to try. And if you want to get a court order on me, I would love to speak to a judge, because when it's my turn to speak to a judge, I'll have everything in place to let them know exactly why you cannot raise your child. Exactly why I allow you to support the minimum you can. Because it's the least you can do. And if you say you want to do it because you know it's the right thing to do, then just fucking do it. Don't get pissed off that you don't get the benefits that come with that. Don't get pissed off that you don't get your way just because you pay your measly ass little funds over here. We don't want that shit in the first place. We don't give a fuck. The best thing you can do is get the fuck out of our fucking way. Stay the fuck gone and stop instigating and stop trying to affect people that you cannot affect. The reason I'm doing this out live, the reason I'm doing it here, is so that you can't deny that the message has come through loud and clear. It's been told to you personally multiple times, and now you're getting it publicly. You get it publicly so that you understand that everybody can see it. Everybody is aware. That everybody will know exactly what was said. Exactly why you don't have authority here. Okay? Let's not act like we don't know. We all know why you can't authorize me. We all know why you can't narrate a fucking lie over me. I don't like that. I don't like people thinking that it's okay and that it's normal to harm a child. Okay? Manipulate your partner, knowing full well that what you're doing behind the scenes, behind your partner's back. So when you do those things, those evil things, because it is evil, when you do that and you think that it's normal and okay, that somehow you should be given the opportunity to stay and raise your child, you're fucking twisted. You don't get the same authority over a child. I don't care if it's your biological child. You don't get to have authority over a child after you've proven that you do not have self-awareness, self-control, self-judgment to know better than to harm a child. We're not talking about oops, a mistake, or my bad, I didn't know. No, we're talking about consistent behavior, consistently lying, consistently doing something in a very malicious way. Let's not act like that's not wrong. Let's not act like you don't know what you did. Let's not act like you didn't do something that was fucking heinous, that you should be behind bars for. Let's not act like you don't know, sir. Don't play stupid now. Because when I tried to say it nicely, when I said it peacefully, despite how evil you were, I kept my boundaries and I said, for the sake of my child, I'm going to allow my child to communicate with you at my child's leisure, because my child doesn't deserve not to have a father. My child deserves to have a father. And if my child wants to talk to their father, they should be able to. So I'm going to give my child that freedom, but I'm going to be right there making sure that my child is safe. I'm going to be right there making sure that you're not planting seeds that you shouldn't be planting in my child's mind, because of what you've already proven to be and who you were to me and what you did to me and my child. Don't fucking play. Don't act like I don't see it. Don't act like I didn't call you out. Don't act like you didn't acknowledge. Don't act like you didn't know exactly what you did. So now you want to say, oh, why you block me? Why do you think? Why do I have to remind you to stop communicating with me? I don't want your fucking memes. I don't want your fucking messages of hey, look, I found out this article and I found out, fuck you. You want to have a conversation with your child when he calls you? You want to have a conversation with your child? Then you talk to your child and have that conversation. Hey, look, I think that if you use this toothpaste or that toothpaste, this one is better for you. Have that conversation with your child when you have the time to speak to them. Don't send me anything. Don't tell me. Don't feed me any information. I don't want the information that comes from you. Nothing that comes from you I trust. The only reason your monetary assistance comes into play is because it supports my child. And that's the minimum you can do to ensure that your child has a happy life. But I don't owe you to have you unblocked and have my phone infiltrated with your fucking messages. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to communicate with you. I don't want to exchange energy with you. And I know that you do it only when full moons and new moons come around. So why are you acting like you don't do fucking moon rituals? Like you're not trying to attach to me in some way indirectly with my son, using the water trine energies. I know how fucking far-fetched that sounds. I know how ridiculous that sounds to somebody who has no fucking knowledge of a fucking occult. I know that. But guess what? When you've lived it, when you've experienced it firsthand, fucking demon-ass motherfuckers that don't know how to fucking keep it real, that think that the best way to do it is to play mind games, and even if what they were doing is pretending that they were doing occult tricks on you, even if it was pretense, it was to get you to think. It was to get you to be paranoid. It was to get you to be scared. It was to get you to be focused. It was to get you to be online talking about everything you know. Well, now I'm telling you everything I know. That's what you didn't want me to talk about, right? You wanted to scare me into not talking about this, but you wanted me to be out there and performing for you, right? You want to infiltrate my phone. You want to infiltrate my information. You want to infiltrate the business that I've built for myself, acting like you had anything to do with that. Acting like somehow you built me, you created me. What, you're supposed to be the God that dominates my mind? You? The one I couldn't stand every fucking day telling you, hey, you need to man the fuck up, and you weren't manning up? Only to find out that beyond the fact that you were a fucking shit of a man, only to find out that you were even that you weren't even close to human, that you were some kind of fucking parasite being. Some archonic ass being. Some draconic ass piece of shit, non-physical being. Just some kind of entity of pure fucking ignorance. Acting like you know something over me. Nothing but a fucking copycat. And you have the audacity to question, why you blocked me? Because I'm not going to waste my time explaining to that fucking entity how stupid it is to assume that it can continue to interact with me. And that it's going to continue to have access to my child after I've already made it clear to keep that boundary or lose it all. Because I was trying to say, hey, I'll work with you. At the minimum, you want to communicate with my child? It'll be on his terms. Because I'm not doing this for you, demon. I'm not doing it for you. I'm not letting you have access to my child to please you, to appease you, to give you what you ask for because you're the man. No, I'm letting my child decide when he feels a need to speak to his father, to speak to his father. But you don't get access to my son at your leisure because that access should have been earned and you never earned it. That access should have been available to you had you actually been a real father. But you defaulted in your position when you harmed my daughter. Okay? Let's not act like we don't know. Let's not act like we're stupid, okay? I'm going to say it loud and proud. I'm going to say it for everyone to know. You know why? Because I've said it privately, quietly, personally to you. I said it very quietly, privately to the people that are involved. I said it quietly and privately to the authorities that needed to know. I said it quietly and privately to the people that need to understand why I am being this way with you. But the minute you want to keep acting stupid, like you think I'm not going to expose everything you've done, you wanted to tempt me. You wanted to tempt me into submission. No, you only tempted me into exposing you. Don't make me give names. Don't make me give dates. Don't make me fucking show text messages. Don't make me do anything. Because I will. Go ahead. You want to push that? Go ahead and push that. The only way you're going to get me to talk now, you're going to have to pay me to talk now. You're going to have to pay me a whole fucking lot for me to tell this story. For me to expose everything that I know. Not just about this, but about all the links to it and everybody else. Because I'm done providing information for copycat channels to be roaming around trying to project themselves onto me like, here, look, this is who you are. Here, look, this is, we're pushing your agenda. Great. You're showing it to me, but you're showing it to me. How is that a benefit to me? How is that a benefit to me, what you're doing? Because on the one hand, it's a underhanded energy, like, we're working behind the scenes to ensure that your message gets across, to ensure that your way of doing things is understood. But no, you keep it hidden. You keep it hidden so that other people can monetize. You keep it hidden. I don't get monetized for this. But then you don't want to give credit for it either. Well, then I don't give a fuck what happens to it. When the whole system falls apart, when the whole system crashes out, not my system, the one that was created behind my back that wasn't supposed to be created because it wasn't for my betterment, the one that was used to destroy me, the one that was used to affect me in a negative way, not a way that was to my benefit, not a way that was going to help me, not a way that was going to improve me. No, in ways that was meant to destroy me and take me out from speaking my truth and put me in a position in front of my society, the people that I engage with, as if what I have to say doesn't have any fucking meaning. As if what I have to say doesn't have the truth behind it. As if what I have to say, had it happened to any of them, they would be like, oh my God. Everyone wants to act and turn a blind eye like they didn't see, like they didn't hear, like they didn't know, like they didn't fucking watch and witness. They want to act like they don't know. Good luck. Good luck. That's all, folks.